Claudio, let me get this right. Bulnes, Claudio. He worked at IDS, and I made a video about him. IDS Online. It was 117 Ducks Corner Road, Unit B in Dayton, New Jersey. Unit B. I mean, this is how it looks. Let me see. There's another address, 28 Corner Road. I heard a couple years ago they got a couple blocks away. They had a new warehouse, but all right. Let me see. This was the entrance. There's a little lot over here. Yeah, there was an argument. They were arguing. This guy from the company next door was called Archtech. They would argue about the parking, how like people park on the side, how it looks unprofessional, but it's really not about that. I just saw the picture and I wanted to talk about, and I mentioned it rather. Claudio over there. There's another guy that worked there. His cousin Michael, a couple people. His friend Wilmer Mejia. Couldn't find him on Facebook. Wilmer over there used to play soccer or football. How you should be called it anyway. We used to play soccer. He had this tiny shorts. Like I guess he liked Barcelona, but it wasn't Barcelona. Just like they were just like really tight, like really short. It was creepy. He would just like bend down like soccer. It was just gross. I couldn't even see that. But they had me doing like by the offices, just like taking pictures of items returned and stuff. And I was doing like a desk work on the computer. It was boring, but whatever. I did it, and I kind of wanted to be there. Actually, I didn't care, but it's like they were just having fun in the warehouse. Like I don't know if Benson Hole over there, the CEO was sleeping or something. He would take naps during the day, like hour, 2 hours. I heard him snoring a couple times, but I don't know if anybody was in there. Claudio's then it was girlfriend, not wife yet, was sitting in the front desk, and I don't know who else was working there. I think Eric Ye's wife Jessie, although she had paternal leave, but they would be sitting there, and it's like Claudio, Wilmer, Michael. There was this guy G. I forget. I don't know if it was Guillermo was his name, something like that. I don't know if he was in there that time, but they were just rowdy again, crazy in the warehouse. I told them, I went, hey man, I just you guys not make that noise, you're like, whatever. They did it anyway, but it's like I'm not going and telling them to shut up. It's just that it wasn't even that. That was annoying and creepy too, but they would just go around, especially women. They would just like grab each other's, especially Claudio, like his junk, like his private parts, his dick, It was just very weird. My last job, this guy Stefan would do that, but he wouldn't grab it. He'd just be like he's gonna grab it and just like scare you, But women over there, I think he grabbed it or touched it, Very disgusting, I was like, what are you guys doing? And then he they started, I don't know if they started saying something about me, and like I was a chicken fucker or some shit. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? You guys going around grab each other's, nuts, testicles, and dick, especially Wilmer Mejia over there. I don't know if Claudio did too, but he didn't care. They would laugh and they thought it was funny, I mean, it's just very odd. Like as a heterosexual male, like you don't want to be groped like that, Like you're not into that stuff. It was just very creepy, Including the one time, like Claudia reached out for Eric. Yeah, it was a supervisor. And they were gonna dance because there's some music playing. And then I was standing there, and Eric pretended like, oh, what are you doing? Are you gay? I was like, wow, man, really? You really play that off, huh? And it was just very weird. It was just like, it's like you have a girlfriend, you have a wife. What are you guys doing, man? It's like if you're gonna be gay, just be gay. Shit. It's just very odd. But yeah, they were getting very rowdy in the warehouse. It's like once they call me a pato or a faggot. Like how am I a faggot? Like I have my masculinity. Even though I was overweight and I was my mentality was suppressed. I was I was in a bad state. But like I don't go around grabbing other guys private parts and uh, running around the warehouse. They were just like yeah, they were like laughing like that. It was like, bro, just stop it already. Grow up or go home, man. It's like you go to work, you joke around, that's fine, but like, you know, I'm sitting outside the warehouse, and and it's just loud, 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 loud. It's and then this little, they do this little feminine, feminine voice and all that stuff. It was just very weird. Uh, you know, then there was an incident like Claudio's cousin there, like I don't know if I saw, but he kicked a pallet jack, and I kind of like tripped on it. Like that was his game, and he walked away. He's trying to be tough. Like what did I do to you, huh? Like like you're the one hiding behind stuff and you're scaring people. Right? Yeah, you got me a couple times. It was a joke, but it's like it's like what are you guys so mad and offended about, right? Because I'm the faggot. And then there's another thing, like he would like talk to this chick from Honduras on Facebook. He had another account, and like, and this girl called him Amor, mi amor. He was just souped up, happy about it. Like, bro, like, actually, like, maybe like 13, 14 is like the first time you ever talked to a girl. I actually showed him on Chatterbait. Yeah, I was on Chatterbait there. Actually, I went out too far. I was on Chatterbait on my phone a lot of times. And it got to the point where I just can't do it anymore. It's just ridiculous. What am I doing? I gotta work, and I just abandoned it. But I went to the Chatterbait chat room, and they didn't even know how to say anything. Like, well, she's a Latina and she speaks Spanish. She's like, what are you gonna say? Like, say hola, como estás? I didn't say it like that. Just say hi, hi. Just what are you so worried about? Even if like maybe I get it's like I was thinking like maybe it's the first time in the chat room, and you go in the chat room, you don't know how to talk, but it's like, does it really matter though? All you gotta do is say hi. She can't see you, and even if she can't see you, it's like, I get it. You gotta look at someone, but she wasn't seeing him. And they just, they couldn't talk to like females and stuff. At least Claudia, for the most part, you know. And yeah, Wilma there, I mean, I got so angry. I was just so messed up. I was doing something that I shouldn't be doing, but even after that, I went to pick up Wilmer, and he just like 15, 20 minutes, late into going to the job, and he tell me he used to play video games at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, a whole night. And I was trying to tell these people, man, like, oh, it's not my place to say. Not that I came late, but you want to have a workforce where tell you guys not to be staying up at night. And Benson was like, well, what they do on their time is the private business. I'm not gonna get into the personal. Yeah, we're not gonna get into personal life, but he's coming on late. I'm late because I gotta pick him up. He doesn't have a ride. It's slow. He's not doing his work. He's watching football games. Claudia over there on Facebook. I was pissed off as hell for him the most part. I just tried to do my work, try to get my life together. And Claudia was on Facebook and like, yo, look, come here, come here. Yo, come here, I gotta show you something. So I go over and it's like a girl or something, or a lot of times this girl from Honduras would say something like, look what she says, or like, he had a guy who was like, and I could see it was the legs were weird. It was trying to be a chick, and he scrolled a picture and it was like a transvestite, like, yo, you like her, right? Or him or whatever. But I just got tired, so I started doing my work, and then it's like I think he did it on purpose or something. And it's like Eric came in there and like he called me. I didn't react. I was like, Claudio, just come here, man. Lucas, you gotta come in. You got when Claudio calls you this and that. He's a supervisor. This and that. I'm like, I can fuck you guys. He's like, what are you doing, man? Three out of five. Actually, no, 10 out of 10 times he always called me. It was about some shit on Facebook. He was sitting there scamming. He used to be on a message on Facebook. It's like it's like children and shit. And then his little girlfriend that became a wife. Like she had to do something like actually wrap it up, put it in a cardboard box because return. It was like very fragile, and she had to pull out a bubble wrap, this and that, and wrap it up. Actually, no, I'm mistaken. Claudio had to do that, and he was telling his girlfriend Sarah to do that. And then it's like she didn't do it, so I did it, and it's like, and then it became like Eric came to me. He thought I'd be like back down or something like that. Like I'd be like, oh, all right. It was just so juvenile and childish, It's like, and then people say I hate homosexuals. It's like if you're homosexual, whether you're gay, I don't even like to use the word gay too many times, but if you're homo about it, and like, it's, I guess, I've seen a lot of people that are, and they have certain kind of thing about them. You know, I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I haven't studied them too much. 'Cause there's a lot of people that probably weren't homosexual, but just be honest, they were just like not the best people all around either. But it's that little bit of weakness, and like, it was that dancing, and the penis grabbing and grabbing and all that stuff. It was just creepy. And then it's like, if you're like that, then, why even talking to females, women, Unless they don't mind, they just don't care. It's like, whatever, just don't bring it home or something like that. Don't bring him home. You know? Yeah, it was a party on, it was a Christmas party. We went over to Claudio's, house apartment in Somerville. Those pictures taken. Eric, yeah, was there. Like, and he had two shots. He passed out. He gave me a finger, because I was like, oh, Eric was joking around with him. He was mad. It was just weird, but it was still kind of fun. Just yeah, not gonna go there. I do remember we played some games and stuff like that. Claudia really wanted to play dominoes. Like 3, 4 times he was mentioned events. We no, to play dominoes. And like, okay, Lucas, what do you want to play? Say that. It was just weird, but it was alright. Just um, yeah, it was just there was this guy named Will. I think I talked about. I don't know if I made a video about that. He was he said he was a blood, like he was a he was he he was like running the Bloods, like he was one of the bosses, and he was locked up, and he was like in prison or in jail. He was like, we don't pick on weak people in jail. Like, oh, that's nice, dude. Yeah, I mean, do your thing though. And then, he's talking about he took a lot of ecstasy and like he had vision problems or something like that. Or at least I told him like, well, you might have vision problems if you take that much. Or he told me he has poor eyesight. And I never saw that guy just like on the homosexual side, because he didn't go for like that, but he was like one of those, I don't want to say hood dudes, but like very raggedy, and not hood, it's just like creepy, disturbing. He borrowed money from me, he didn't give back. He was always popping pills. He was popping them, not snorting them. Not saying I'm better because I used to snort them, just I didn't want to be around that. I didn't like that either. But Benson would always say, I attract the darkness and the light, meaning negative people and positive people. Like, wow, would you? Because he was told by that by like a fortune teller or a soothsayer or something like that. Something like that. But anyway, Claudio and his behavior the last days at IDS Online, it was just very bad. I mean, I was just very, very hurt. I thought, like I said, I thought they were gonna like set the warehouse on fire or something. They're gonna set me up, or they're just gonna do it for insurance purposes, because the warehouse was stacked, piles were stacked all the way to the top. The last week or 2 weeks before, I left IDS on. I told Claudio what I really thought about him, or maybe even before that, but it was just like he became a supervisor. And just he had his little coffee. He would go like like 10, 11. He just had his coffee. He would sit in the break room and stuff, and like all right, well, you guys do this. Once in a while he would do stuff, but I mean, a lot of times when he would call, he would make a mistake. He would just deny it and stuff like that. He just felt it on his face, like like he was just like shy and embarrassed about it or something. But just man up and like, oh yeah, I did that, and just fix it. Try not to do it the next time. But he just his Facebook. I remember he used to write, "I'm a humble guy that like likes to work and I love my family." Yeah, I mean humble. He just kind of suppressed and hid stuff. I'm not saying he was too arrogant, but he was just like the insecurity of him. He was just so insecure a lot of times. And I know another kid, in high school, it was Fernando. He would do the same thing. Yo, you think that's good? Like, bro, you're drinking it. Why are you asking me if the beer is good, or what do you ask me if your car is good? Like, I mean, what do you want to talk about this and that? And he was just very much like that, and especially about his girlfriend. Like, yo, you think she nice? I don't know, Claudio. What about the chicks on Facebook? Or the chick from Honduras? It's like it's just somebody that is like mentally not just stunted, but just never really grew. mentally didn't grow and stuff. And maybe there's a lot of people like that, but it's just like that to like when I stood up to him and I just said a couple words, he cowered down. He would just get angry. He had like very anger issues sometimes because he was getting, at least we thought it was like the way they were paying us. It was like they would take out like $70, $80, and we get paid bi-weekly, but it was just overtime that we carried over. And then another thing they had to do is they had us do they had to like do the math. Like how the fuck am I gonna do all that math when this one guy Brian Sue a couple times he messed up this and that. They were supposed to like do the math after you're supposed to do it, and it just became this anger fest. And it was just a whole company. Like every week we had these meetings like for half an hour or an hour before work, at least once or twice a week. I think once a week. It was just so annoying, man. After a while, we just didn't know what to talk about, bro. It's like this is getting that way. We gotta report to you, man. It was just so ridiculous. On one angle, it's kind of good to have communication, but I wanted to communicate about that. And actually, not a full month, but Benson Hall wasn't there at IES Online. Eric Yale was like some kind of manager. I don't know what title he had, warehouse manager or something. He sent me down with Claudia because Claudia was a supervisor, and Eric Yale basically told me, all right, at the end of the week you can leave, or I'll give you a month. You can work to a month. I was like, fuck, I should probably leave right now. Just take my hoodie, just jacket, whatever, just leave. But and I think I regretted that. I just didn't say, nah, I'm just gonna leave today. Go fuck yourself. Really, because I eventually stayed there for a month, and I was so relieved after that. It was just the greatest thing. The last day or two, I told Claudia, oh man, this is so good. I'm out of here, bro. Fuck this. I don't need this shit anymore. He just looked at me like quiet, like with a crazy look on his face. He didn't say anything. Like, yeah, why you think you're gonna do it? You like it? Some shit like that. But when he sat me down, Eric Ye over there, yeah, with Claudio, Claudio was like, I forgot what he told me, but he told me he's like, you too negative about everything at work. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I said this and that. We had these scanners, and I made noise about it. Even he said, yeah, I don't know. And then we fixed that. How am I so fucking negative? I have a bad attitude towards work. That's what he said. See, my only bad attitude towards, and not so much work, because there was IDS Online, and in Dayton, it was like 10, 12 feet high. We had to climb on these, uh, well, it was a shelving, but it was in the middle of the warehouse, and not that it was unstable, it just you could fall. You could climb on top of pallets. I didn't like that, but a lot of times I just didn't like that, that workplace environment, And a lot of these muchachos, or like these little kids, they just didn't know how to do it right. They just slow everybody down. We had to recount this whole one room, just scan for like an hour, 2 hours, because I don't know, either something was missing or they didn't add it up right on their little Wi-Fi application on the laptop. You know, I mean, it just it was just so ridiculous, and it's like they didn't want to stay after work either. So how do I have a negative attitude towards work? And we were doing that, just hanging out, chilling, and talking. They did some stuff, but it was like they were just hanging out and stuff. Claudia was the one that I remember he didn't want to take after work, after like 4 or 5 o'clock. I think we worked till like 6, but then we had to stay. We take this lumber inside. He just he's like, I'm not a slave. I'm not a slave. Benson need to know. That nigga need to know. I'm gonna leave right now. And he just he went inside. He got angry. I don't know if he left or not, but I started doing it, and I think Wilmer came over. Either Wilmer or Michael. I think it was Wilmer. I don't remember. And we just put his lumber like 15, 20 minutes. We put it inside. And I think he took Wilmer home or something like that. Or he just wanted to go and he had laundry to do, or he had to play soccer. I don't even know. What really turned me off about that, and I think I told him, it was like, a slave, compare yourself to a slave when you can just quit your job. Claudio, and do you know what slaves have to go through? Any kind of slave? They have no rights. They didn't have the luxury you have, I mean, it's just a creepy analogy there. And also, my first month there, Claudio over there, like he didn't make his car payments, and I think we got a confrontation with him. There was something else going on. I think I told him, and like, I came in work one day, and, he wasn't there. And then, they told me Eric and then Brian Sue, these two, they're Benson's friends, but they're like the managers or supervisors. They said, oh, they repoed his car. They took his car or something like that. And then, they said, Claudia's just too young for this. I'm like, what do you mean too young? I mean, I kind of knew what he said. I just wanted him to say. He's like, no, he's just too young. He just, he doesn't understand responsibility and this and that. That was like my first month. And I told him, man, if it's like that, I probably would have picked you up. And I don't remember if I guess I picked him up once or twice, or maybe not even that. But then he bought a car, and it was like, it was some leak in the roof. He got it done. But he bought an SUV for like $4,000 or $5,000 or something like that. But it's like I have a bad negative attitude towards work. That Eric Ye over there trying to coach him how to talk. He had to talk corporate. So when this guy G got fired, I was like, Claudia came in. I wanted to hear him. He was like, yo, I think I got fired, bro. He wouldn't say it like that. I think that was more like Wilmer, And Claudia comes in. He was like, Wilmer's no longer with us. I'm like, damn, he died. I mean, G's not longer with us. I don't know if I said like, what happened? Like, wow, where's the wig, bro? Did they get him? Some shit like that. You get hit by a car, like what? I don't know, was there fire in the warehouse? I mean, I wasn't joking around there. I was like, he's no longer with us. Like, it sounds just, very, traumatic. And, G over there didn't give a fuck because he said he was getting paid by a temp agency and they were paying him like $15, $16 an hour or something like that. You just slow chilling, And it was just like very weird. It was just like there were Eric Ye over there, and I think Benson Brian. I don't know if Brian, they were coaching him how to talk properly. It's like, bro, like, I don't know you like that. Kind of, that's the funny part, If I probably would have, I probably would have picked up on it in like, a couple of minutes. He didn't even know how to, talk like that. He just, I just see him reading there, like, trying to learn the, the phrases and shit, trying to be right with it, It was just funny. I kind of, that was my best memory on Idea Sunlight, how he said that. I don't care if people call me a dick, including him, but it was just funny how he was trying to be all corporate and proper, and like, I think he started once. I got dressed because I bought some new clothes. I feel like an idiot because it's like I got them dirty and then I went back to dirty t-shirts. But yeah, he was just with his coffee or his styrofoam cup and like and they were like they're trying to tell me, oh, Luke, it's just coffee. You like? I'm like, no, man, I'm okay. I used to buy my coffee on a breakfast place, but. He would just with coffee and his little cream, and he would just he was like, the supervisor, the supervisor, supervisor, whatever shit. But yeah, he was weird, and he always had tiny shorts and tiny, tiny sweatpants that he found at the job because they had this thing where they like. I don't know, it's like they had all these clothes. It was just out of clothes. They would like send them to China or back to China. And then Benson was like, oh yeah, take anything you want. And I still got like a box of this stuff. Or maybe I threw it out. But some of the stuff was very cheap. But I remember Claudius, like, he had like, I think one or two sweatpants. He got it from there. Just, I'm not into them. It's like really tight around your ankle. I actually have a pair because there's no other sweatpants to buy out there. I have to, like go on Amazon and, just like buy something. But yeah, it was just that, It was like, he was coached to be a supervisor, this and that. And before that, it was like, me against Claudio, like crazy. I felt like, it was a TV show, like into the TV show, like, undercover boss, or like, who will be the supervisor? And, Brian was like, no, look, you can do it. Brian used to stutter. I'm pretty sure he still does. He's like, you're better than Claudio. I'm like, no, Claudio's a hard worker. I don't want to be supervised. Like, what am I going to supervise from, huh? You know how much of a mess and this and that is? I'm going to have to go there and, argue with you guys when it took me like 2-3 weeks or a month to tell you that we needed better scanners. So, like, this stuff we were scanning, like, thousands of things just wouldn't work and it was confusing. Like, I don't want to be there. I didn't want to be there, period, honestly. I treat it as a little job just to, like, make some money, and I was like, I gotta go somewhere else. It was just too stressful, too hectic. There was a lot of work. There was a lot of scanning, this and that. Claudio got he got souped out because and he actually took a broom once. And he said, "Yo, come on, let's go." And we cleaned for like 15 minutes before we left. And before we leave, Benson was always like, "Claudio, come here." Thank you, Claudio. And he shook his hand. You did good. Thank you, thank you. Because he was watching a camera that we were sweet. And I was like, really, bro? Like, you're like, you guys are, like what? I'm an asshole. I didn't tell him to get the broom. Like, what? I would have been like a cracker, him an asshole if I did. But, it was like, and then, Benson, I mean, we had this one meeting and Benson ripped off JFK. He said, that's not what your company can do for you, but what you can do for your company. And then Claudia repeated it 2 months, and it was like, wow, I didn't think you remember. I was like, wasn't that a speech like in the 60s when they went to the moon? Just looking at him like, really? You guys are really gonna like jerk each other off on the, dead man's catchphrase? Just very weird. It was like, he was like, becoming the corporate Claudio. It was very odd. It was like I know Claudio from like Spanish clubs. That's and like other stuff, but not the corporate Claudio. It was just very bizarre and yeah, and it still haunts me how Eric Yale would say lumber. He would say woods, and I thought, you gotta get the woods, and I always think, I gotta go like get a couple forests for him. We will build enclosures under the pallets to protect poker tables. We would drill in, and it took me once in a while. It was just hectic because I don't know what I did. I burned the drill. It just never blew up, but it just burned. It just wouldn't work. And even that, it's like imagine in winter. They have the loading dock door, and people come in, return. You gotta put these things up. It was like a 12-foot table. I mean, I did it, but it was just like I just wasn't feeling it. It was just so weird. And then I remember they had like lumber in the back. They had all this lumber, and they they chained it with like like a big heavy duty chain. But I'm like I'm pretty sure if anyone wants to come and steal, they could steal it. Just um I don't know, it was just very odd. And then the tables got demolished anyway by FedEx, and then it would get crated and sell them for cash. But I don't think I don't think he ever did that. Maybe once, because everybody had to do certain things. Learn every aspect of the warehouse. Wilmer did that. He did that the tables a couple of times. He was doing that. But I have a negative attitude towards work. Yeah, I have a negative attitude towards negative people and a lot of gayness. I'm not into that.